like Made Addictz.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Music Made Addictz together with our homeboys, Sick Individuals. Welcome, everybody.
Woo, 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 woo. So excited to have you guys, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fresh from Australia, so
Fresh.
Australia.
Oh,
Fresh
all
from
the way.
Australia. I don't know how
Aussie,
that works.
Aussie,
Oh
Aussie.
my God.
not really fresh. No, it was more like a joke. We did a long tour, so
Yeah.
it's good to be finally back in Holland. Working on studio.
Yeah. Finally back in Holland.
Yeah, it's always the best.
Yeah. You guys tour a lot, right? Woo.
We did like intensive tour over the last 3 months, I think. So a lot of Asia. We did Australia was the most difficult time zone, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did we do? Some Dutch festivals as well. Like
Yeah.
Last weekend we were in Holland. The last Dutch
Ah.
festival of the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. That was nice.
All right, we always kick off the show with the question, how do you get addicted to this music? For you, it's a bit different because on one hand, you play different music than we do. But on the other hand, you guys are also big fans of hardstyle music.
Yeah.
So maybe you can explain a bit about how you grew into making house music and EDM and where your passion for hardstyle came from.
Well, we actually started almost 10 years ago, right?
Ooh.
And we both met each other on the School of Arts. And you were already really passionate about trance music and about dance music, right?
Yeah.
Listening to IDT radio
Yeah.
back in the days. And I was always into jazz and pop music and into hip hop. But we met each other on school, and also my cousin, he's sent me some dance tracks, and I started to like that kind of music. And so I met Jim, and he was like, why don't we hang out a little bit, do some school projects, and started making music together.
And actually, like,
And,
we hated what our classmates were making. We
Yeah.
hated it.
Yeah.
So we were the only ones like that were like after the class,
Yeah.
after the room, and we're like, okay, I loved your piece, and you loved my piece as well. So that's kind of how we
Yeah.
connected like really quickly. And then we're just like that's also like the Sick Individual style. What you hear nowadays, like you still hear the guitars, the pianos, the real instruments, but combined with electronic.
Yeah.
All electronics from the computer. So that's kind of how we grew up. Like he was more influencing by the pop music, and I was going from trance, hardstyle, some
Yeah.
hip hop, and then we combined it and it made
Yeah.
Sick Individuals.
I think by
So-
then there were a lot of artists that were still figuring out what they wanted to do. And I think one of the first festivals we went to was Emporium Festival. And I
Avicii
remember
was playing. I
Avicii was playing as well. And we went to the house stage, and Bingo Plays was playing there. And it sounded so amazing that I was like, okay, I really want to try to produce this kind of music. That's where I actually really got addicted to house music. And
there's so much freedom in
Yeah.
in hardstyle as well, but also in dance music. So that's I think what our passion came from. Like in pop music, there's a lot of freedom, but also there's not a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
Because it should fit for radio, or it should fit for everybody's ears. And in dance music, you can fit pop elements into it, but you can also go crazy with different weird sounds. So I think that's kind of what we love with dance music. You never get bored of it. You can just produce
it's
and
true.
produce and make something out of it. You can make something else like every day.
Yeah, because you guys are kind of diverse producers as well. Because you make pop music as well, right?
yeah.
But
yeah.
also kind of dance
pop.
oriented.
dance
Yeah.
orientated
Yeah.
pop music. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But that's because we started making music together. We actually made music for TV commercials in the beginning, but our love for dance music, that's the one that keeps us going.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you just make a track like a pop song, it's just something that we really love to do. So then we just get it out there, and after that we love to make a dance song again. So
We never want to produce like 2 of the same tracks in 1 week. So like if we have an idea, we come back from the studio and we're a little tired, then we make a more chilled down track. And then after like we nailed that one, and then we're okay. Now we need some energy. Let's go to like a more energetic track. So that's I think how it works with our brain. We just have to produce what we feel, and sometimes like we don't release everything, but so we have like hundreds of demos lying down. And we were both producers, so it's really nice. Like we have 2 studios next to each other. So I try to surprise Ray what I make, and he does it vice versa. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of success with that as well. And I mean, what was one of the first songs that you guys made together that really got picked up and went to a label to be released? You know, where the people could first hear the Sick Individuals sound.
Maybe for the hardstyle, maybe fans they don't know him, but Frankie Rizzardo, he's already there for a long time. He's in the house scene. He's now crossed over a little bit to the deeper techier sound.
Yeah.
But back then he asked us to do a remix flute test, was it? And dance tunes, man, is for the
Dance tunes, wow,
people who are along in this
I
industry.
remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
We're old school.
But we went like number one with that remix, and everyone was playing it on Mysteryland. And Eric E. back then he was walking through like one stage to another stage, and he was constantly hearing the same track. And he asked like his co-worker like, "What is this track?" And it's a new remix by Sick Individuals. And that's how it kind of like invited us to the office, and it was kind of the first track we made together. So that's kind of like how the career started.
And by then we thought it was really important that the quality, the sound would be better, because in 2010 and 2009, the sound of all the tracks wasn't really well produced, but the idea was there, and that was released on Dance Tunes and Beatport. But we really wanted to do something about the production. So one of the first things we did with that remix is that we gave it like a higher production level. And that was also one of the things why all these DJs started to playing them on the festivals.
Because the kick was so heavy.
Yeah.
It's always good when the kick is heavy.
That's an important thing with hardstyle as well, you know, and how it sounds.
Yeah,
and,
it's really important.
And I think we still have that the production level has to be high and has to be good.
Yeah.
When we started, the production level wasn't that high. But
But it's the same.
of
We
course,
were struggling as well. But
always aiming for the best and maybe doing
course.
better than your colleagues already.
Yeah.
So that's enough for them. And Hardwell back then was kicking it. Like he's now still at a good level, but back then there was such a big difference between Hardwell and all the others. And we were kind of like always looking up to him and like figuring out like what are his production ideas and where you can copy some.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of cool that we're now like we are doing a lot of revealed. So it's kind of nice that we always looked up to him, and now
part of
kind
the
part of
group.
the team,
Yeah, part of the family.
Yeah, and it's also nice like connecting with you guys because
Yeah.
I remember the first time we met each other on ADE.
Yeah, it was
on
a
a
Hardwell
reveal
party.
party.
Was the
Oh,
Hardwell
yeah.
parties? Okay,
Yeah.
that's the kind of good bridge.
Yeah.
But it's also funny that we knew you guys already like for a long time, so we were listening to you guys' music, and it's so funny that you always see, and also maybe people who are listening to this podcast, like you look up to somebody or you think like, oh wow, these are the artists that make these great songs I enjoy so much. But in the end, behind that, there's like just like two really humble guys, and I didn't imagine that. Like for me, like we were not connected at all in the scene. So
I thought it was really funny because I remember one of you guys sent us a tweet message.
Yeah.
And
Which was it, Lost and Found or no?
I think I am.
I am.
you were saying like, oh, I really love this track.
Yeah, the emotion of that track, and it's I didn't hear that a lot in house music because it was a different kind of progression, not the typical 4 chords. You know? And we sent you a message on Twitter.
I remember that. And when I saw this message, I jumped out of the studio. I was like, Jim, T-Block and Esteban sent us a tweet.
For real.
I'm not kidding. It was really
we were like
that.
because
I
we
was
were really like,
this
oh,
is so cool.
because like we don't make hardstyle, but we love hardstyle.
Yeah.
And we were always like, just like our last, if we played like back in the day, we played a lot at school parties and whatever, and we always ended with hardstyle.
Yeah.
And there were always some tracks of yours in it. So of course, we're like, oh, this, and also the production level of hardstyle is way above the house production. Now you can level a little bit, but in general, like what the house scene, like I can really say that because I know a lot of house DJs, they always say, if you work with a hardstyle producer, they're next level, huh?
But that's a good thing to hear. Yeah.
But that's really true.
It's not true.
Yeah. No, but the sound design and also in our collaboration, it was kind of cool to see you guys work in a different way than we do.
Yeah, it was really fun to do a collaboration with you guys as well. It was in our time period that we didn't have our focus on hardstyle that much anymore because, I think you guys can relate to that as well. If you do something for such a long time, you're searching for something new, you're searching for new ideas. And we really loved your guys' music, so it was fun to see what happens if we collaborate and make a track. And the first one was Waiting for You, right?
Because for us it was also, like you said before, like when you produce house music, you have a little bit more freedom to go wherever you want. And for hardstyle, we felt a bit closed, you know, like the hardstyle audience was really focused on having that one thing, and we wanted to just expand our qualities.
By then,
in
the
different.
raw was really important.
Yeah, the raw was getting really big, and it either was like this or like that. And for us, it was a bit. We already done it, you know. So we wanted to do more stuff and widen our vision about music, and that's when we indeed met on ADE. And I'm also really a big fan of Wasting Moonlight. I already told you a million times. I mean, I think that's one of the top 5 songs for me in music history.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
I still listen to it so many times. And we spoke to each other at ADE, and we said, we're gonna expand our sound a bit with DBSTF and make house music. And that's when we came together here in the studio. Was waiting for you.
Waiting for you.
That's so funny because like actually where we are recording the podcast, like that's where we actually met kind of like for the first time for the first collaboration, and you guys inspired us as well to like buy something like this as well, because you don't see it, but we are here in a nice building. They have their studio, they have their office, everything is in one place, and we felt like, oh, this is great, because back then we were working sometimes at my home or at Ray's place. It's so nice to have a kind of a home of both for two guys. So that's what we had. Like I think a year later we bought the kind of the same.
That was really quick.
I made it next level.
What was
now we're jealous of your condo. So good. We started working together, and we instantly have a click. You're also from the same city as we are.
That's nice.
And with Rins and not, but
Den Haag, jongen.
No, we instantly clicked, and then we made our first collab together, and it was Waiting for You.
Yeah, I still remember. Sometimes you always got to figure out how somebody works, you know. And I really liked your signature sound with the guitar. You always played it. Yeah. And it's something unique, and it's quite simple but still touchy, you know. It's a really a good signature. And we thought, what kind of track are we gonna make? You know, the second one was totally different. It was more like a club banger into the light, but the first one was more kind of emotional, progressive, kind of. But we did some collabs. We didn't do that many because we always think we have to have a connection with somebody, you know, and
it has to be something special.
It's like a conversation. You need to build on it. Just
so
like add some. If you talk alone, you can talk to yourself. Like, why should you collab then?
And I think it's been like a couple of years that we actually produce these tracks, but we still play them out. They still sound very unique.
So we actually made a new mashup with Stay from Dave Guetta, I think. We make a new. We're still playing our stuff.
Really?
It's so
good.
It makes people happy.
Just good energy, and I think that because progressive normally has a lot more layering. I mean, in a way of more depth into it, and I think with Waiting for You, it's kind of like you feel you guys worked on it because it's more in your face in a way. Like the lead is quite strong. And that's what you feel like in hardstyle. Like all the leads are like right in front of the speaker. And this whole track is right in front of the speaker. And that's why it's still current and we can still play it. And it still works really well.
It doesn't sound old at all.
No.
That's perfect.
And you guys also loved hardstyle, but have you ever produced hardstyle? Or?
We tried to. Yeah, of course.
I never tried to actually.
I did. But it's so hard. Like especially kick. Like people maybe don't know. Try it yourself, man. We're house producers. Like we love producing and we know a lot of stuff about producing. But no, definitely the kick drum. Like I can make a nice melody or a nice lead or try to make it sound like a hardstyle chord progression. And that kind of works, but and also to make it unique, because hardstyle is in a way also based on certain sounds. But if you like at a certain point you grow into hardstyle and you can make these kind of sounds, and then you're okay hardstyle producer. And I see many of these like nowadays, especially with Splice, these kind of platforms where you can download samples and download leads easily. You can easily kind of like go to that level now.
True.
But then to make it unique. Because hardstyle is so complicated and it's already hard to get it to a certain level. If you want to go next level, it's even harder. And I never
never took the time
took it to the next level. So, but now I think I can a little bit more because I know your tricks. So I saw you doing stuff, but no, but I guess interesting.
Let's talk about that.
No, but it's funny. Like when you showed me like how you did it a little bit, like, oh man, such a different way of working. And yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's
But
really,
it was the same the other way around. If you guys are talking like the hardstyle producer, it is on a top level to be there, but it wasn't that easy for us to produce house music.
yeah, it's funny,
Because it's such a different way of
Yeah, it
thinking.
is.
It's totally different.
Yeah.
But also the tempo, like you have like 150 BPM.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you
I
were
got
like
so much
percussion.
Yeah.
There's no
I got
room
so
for
much
percussion.
space.
There's no room for percussion. Now with our music on a 28,
Yeah.
there's way more room for like little like percussion things.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was really funny. Like you telling me like percussion. We never use percussion. Yeah, some drums maybe, but not
Yeah.
really like in between.
Yeah, we do one drum fill.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what I really love about hardstyle is that there's so much opportunity to be more creative, as in like with harmonies
Yeah.
in the production. So you can like there are so many producers that are out there making hardstyle that are so creative. It almost sounds like classical music.
Yeah.
And that's where I really that touches me the most.
Yeah.
That's what I love about hardstyle. That sometimes a lot more complicated than house music.
Yeah.
And I think that's something you should implement a little bit more into the house scene.
Yeah, for sure. Like this, the ultimate
The ultimate chord progression.
epicness
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then the ultimate hardness. Like
Yeah.
after that, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's like just
Yeah.
the best of everything.
Yeah, best of both.
Yeah, but it's I think that because of the hardstyle fans, they're so dedicated to this music and they
Yeah.
really follow it that like heavy.
Yeah.
That they really go for it and maybe even want you to go that extra mile to make it difficult
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
them to be standing out, you know?
Especially.
And when you produce music more for the masses, because yeah, of course, house music is more worldwide streaming. You know, people who don't listen to or don't go to parties can still listen to it.
Yeah.
It has to be more easy listening. And for hardstyle, you can go more into the deep.
No,
Yeah.
but for
dark.
sure, like what you're saying, like the hardstyle fans are way more dedicated than the house fans. Like that's what you see already when I go to a festival myself, like a hardstyle festival. Everyone knows every kick drum, every kick roll.
Yeah.
Wait. and that's like
Everyone's
something.
clapping
Yeah,
together.
everyone's like, oh, you know it,
Yeah.
you do it right. Oh, you know the same. Like so, they really like listen to this track like 1,000 times already
Yeah.
before coming to the festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and,
really cool.
And also they're not like there are so many house DJs nowadays, and there
Yeah.
of course there are a lot of hardstyle DJs, but the scene is
different.
smaller.
Yeah, it's
So
way
people
is
know-
smaller.
the scene growing? Is hardstyle growing?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right now, the last 2 years were pretty good. Yeah, we're
more
really, really good.
producers,
Yeah,
more,
so
more DJs
and
coming up.
more DJs coming up, and there's a lot of stuff online as well. When we began, there was no YouTube, there were no sample packs or anything. So a lot of guys, they just release their kicks, and also you can just sample them
really?
and just use them. But I think it's a good thing, you know,
Yeah.
to have new guys. The
who's
more guys,
new
the
now?
better. The new, yeah, there's so yeah.
Teach me, like.
Depends on which
There's
level.
different
yeah.
levels, you know. I mean, when you have like the really new ones, or you have some that are already more up and coming, or some that are already made name, you know.
Yeah.
Like for example, Sub-Zero Project or Disturb, they really changed the sound, you know.
Yeah.
In what way?
I mean, they're so energetic, but still melodic and epic, you know. Instead of just being hard or just being raw, they really changed the genre by creating a middle sound. Where,
Okay.
for
Closing
example,
the gap.
for us, it was easier to play a rougher song, and for them, it was easier to connect more with euphoric hardstyle. And in that way, the whole scene changed. Where in 2014, 2015, it was like more two subgenres, and now it's just hardstyle again.
Yeah.
And that really changed a lot for the scene, because you can only grow it when there's one big force of hardstyle coming.
Yeah.
And you can really see now that, for example, Timmy Trumpet, who plays a lot of hardstyle, that also helps with the acceptance for this music, you know?
Yeah, we see that a lot. We play a lot in China.
Yeah.
And now we did a tour as well in KL. We were playing in Kuala Lumpur. And we were surprised because like the guy in the warm-up for us,
Yeah.
he was playing hardstyle like, to the max. I was like, man, this is a warm-up. Do they know who we are?
Yeah.
Do they know what they
Yeah.
booked? And I'm glad we have the visual show, so we have more impact with the whole entertainment. But no, definitely, like we have to speed up a little bit sometimes.
BPMs are going up right
for
now.
sure.
And
Yeah.
you see that a lot. And when you tour in China, sometimes we have a tour of a couple of shows, and then you just see that hardstyle is almost like the mainstream in the clubs in China.
Yeah, you can really tell as well. We get a lot of messages from Asia, a lot of
Yeah.
shows in Asia as well. And for example, KL is really big, and Australia, where you guys
KL is
just
big then, huh? Because I was
Yeah.
so surprised about that because we don't tour there so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, so all these things, and also in Europe, a lot of the main stages now program 1 or 2 big hardstyle names on their main stages at the end, sometimes in the middle even, and that helps a lot with the acceptance. So I think if that evolves more and more, it could grow really, really big.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it has to have that
Underground feeling.
underground feeling,
Yeah.
And I think that's the core of hardstyle, that we just make music, and we try to do it as a movie, making music for a movie. Every track we see it as a different kind of movie, and we want to give some kind of feeling to the harmonies and to the progression. And if you do it like that, it gets that touchy feeling, like you say, different kinds, more like classical based. Compared to like poppy based,
Yeah, so the structure like a movie is not always the same.
No.
So that's kind of like what cool about hardstyle as well. Like sometimes it goes into a break and then you think, oh, it's now going to go into a climax. No, it's going into like another part of the break that you didn't expect.
But it's also funny because sometimes from people that are from the outside of dance music or hardstyle, whatever, they listen to it and they think, it's all the same. It sounds like
I can understand it. I can understand.
And there are a lot of parts are the same, but like when you get into it a little bit more, then you can find what's beautiful about it, I think.
And that's exactly what I was just saying just now. Like to get at a certain level of hardstyle, I can make it sound hardstyle quite easily. But if you want to make it sound like a good quality hardstyle that stands out, that's really important.
But that's also some experience that you're missing in hardstyle. Because I mean, for example, we play already for 15 years together. So sometimes we change the structure of a song, but we can already visualize how that change of structure would work on a crowd.
Definitely same.
And that's some experience you need to have as well to make it stand out even more, because you can follow the patterns that everyone follows, and then it's still a good hardstyle track, but it's nothing that special. But for example, what we did with the clock, where we do that anti-climax and then grow it into like the melody drop. That I mean, we could already visualize that would go really crazy. Yeah. But you have to feel that before you can really produce it, because else you just feel like you're doing something really weird.
But also you need to know the scene, you need to know the crowd, and you have to, that expectation rises because you know what's going on. Yeah. And if you're a new producer, that's sometimes pretty hard.
I'm also interested about like how you guys mix. Because like we kind of like really mix as house producers. So sometimes like if we do like a rooftop party, and we love to keep the beat going a little bit more, so don't fall into a break.
More groovy.
More groovy. Then we have sometimes 2 tracks, like 2 channels open, so 2 tracks are playing for like a minute or so. And then we just swap back and forth through the kick, the bass line, back and forth. Like that never happens with hardstyle, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that...
I think that was even one of the biggest things I really like about like playing house music.
Yeah.
Like you can really mix again and switch between that. And hardstyle, that's one of the things that you learn through the time, that there has to be something happening after every 25 seconds, Else the crowd just dies out.
Yeah.
So
but how do you, sometimes maybe you're performing live and you think, okay, this track, I want to switch over like faster.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah,
that's possible. How do you do it? Of course.
Well, the most of the pre-mixed or the
we can give away some tips that we do. We work in record books with cue points. We put them in record books on every like single bar. So every 12 seconds we have a cue point, so we can see easily. Okay, this mid intro has, for example, 3 bars, and when we see okay they don't really like this song, then we just switch over really quick, or we can put the hot cues in and then go, for example, from first break to second break just by hitting the hot cue.
Live.
Yeah, we do it live. With record books.
Good. Yeah.
So that's for us. That's the easy way.
You don't hear it. You don't hear it.
No. Because when you're in record books, when you put every cue straight, you can put the grid straight. Then it automatically do it on the beat.
Oh, you don't have to time it even.
No. So you have to be within the beat, and then it automatically switch at the beat.
Okay.
So that's really.
You should do that, Ray. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can show you.
But I know.
I will do that.
We kind of do the same, but we just mix in. We don't skip, but we just like if the first drop is done, and we feel like we need to mix in, and then we just mix in like after the second drop. Yeah. Only the thing is, or after the first drop, only the thing is sometimes that the other track is going into a breakdown, so I have to loop it then and just make something nice of it. this is even better.
Yeah,
I think, what you
but
guys do.
because hardstyle, most of the tracks after like 2 bars, it's like
That's why.
so you can mix. Really
we can really
easy.
mix like that.
Yeah.
It used to be back in the days.
Yeah.
There were really long mid intros and also long mix parts for like 52 seconds and then drop automatically in the mid intro. So you could also go for a minute 15 or something. But now it's mostly 1 or 2 bars mix in. And then it drops into like
that's
a
also
new
the-
atmosphere.
Maybe
raw?
the boring part about
Yeah.
hardstyle.
Yeah.
I believe
Yeah,
when
but-
I'm at a festival and I see this, if you
Yeah, it's
finally have
repetitive.
found out the structure about what's going on,
Yeah, with
and
some
there's
DJs,
always
sure.
sometimes some DJs that do it a little bit different, and that's what I'm like. Hey, this is cool.
I love always like if you go not into like a breakdown, but you just like I think light like that one is like just going into the vocals straight,
Yeah.
and then as it has the snare already, so you kind of like mix into the build up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that kind of
nice.
works. Like if you play like a track that goes directly into the breakdown, and the next track is gonna go directly into the build up, it kind of changes up the structure a little
Yeah,
bit. Otherwise,
yeah.
every time it's like "Ooh," and a new melody.
Yeah,
It's kinda-
we try to think about that as
Yeah,
well. We
that's
don't play like two. For example, if we have 2 Ghost Stories tracks,
Yeah.
which doesn't have like a big drop, we don't play them after each other, because then you get like 2 sing-along songs after each other, and you're like,
feel you, yeah.
right? You want to have like a
Yeah.
big drop after the first
Yeah.
track, you know.
Make some
So we
contrast
think
in the
about
set.
those.
Yeah, we
Understand.
cut a lot of songs up, you know, that
Yeah.
for example, if we only like the mid intro and we just like drop that part and then go into another song that is more sing along and switch it up a bit so you get more and more energy into the set. But
Yeah.
in the end it's still the crowd really needs that extra thing every 25 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem about that, you know. I mean, I would love to mix
Yeah.
for half a minute and
Yeah.
show how cool it is to mix and
to mix,
and do all these things, you know. But I think maybe in Raw it's a
Yeah,
bit more
that
easier
was what I'm
because
saying. Is Raw
there's
different,
just
maybe?
kicks and
Yeah.
and drums and everything, and they just could mix it and put like these rap vocals in between and all.
Yeah.
But for euphoric, because you always come into an atmosphere, so you can't really mix those 2 atmospheres with each other.
No.
Did
Yeah.
you guys ever like change your songs for live so that the song that is released on Spotify is not the song that you play out? So you have a different kind of
Yeah,
you
we
added stuff, or you change the structure, or you change.
we made some edits.
Yeah.
Especially when we did our live act of Ghost Stories. Then we made basically from every older track we made kind of an edit where you expect to be hear the melody, and then the melody comes, but it breaks up and have a different drop, and everybody and now we play those edits as well.
Because those things are like really cool when you
Yeah.
go to like a pop concert or something.
Yeah.
That you experience this song that you already love, but in a completely different way. So the drummer is like going live, and the bass is going on top and everything, and you feel that this song is like really being built up, and it's still the song that you love.
Yeah.
But the whole experience is something you only get when you're there live.
Yeah, and for us it was also a necessary thing with Ghost Stories because most of the songs are so filmic.
Yeah.
And really long breakdowns. So if you don't have that extra part dropping, then it would be a lot of singing and not that much energy, you know. And it's still cool because there's the visuals and all the lightning and all the shows, you know. But yeah, I mean, you really want to give that extra energy as well to such act. But
cool,
nice. And how do you guys do it? Like, who's preparing the sets? One like.
Yeah,
Both
basically
of you.
both. Yeah, we're just sitting with the 2 of us, and then
You guys are playing back to back.
Yeah, playing
because
back to back.
We don't do that.
No?
No. So that's interesting. Always like one song, and then now my turn.
Yeah.
No, not that song. What do you say? Like the music.
Yeah, but it's most of the times. Yeah, when we play, it's like we have of course our own tracks and
But
our
if
playlists.
Stefan wants to play something you don't like,
Yeah, we never do that actually.
not much.
Not
you don't
much.
have
You can always
signs. You don't
kick
have
him like
signs
a-
like we have like some hand signs. We do like no, not this one.
Sometimes when I see him play a song, I always look at his
Yeah.
screen which song he's gonna play so I can adjust it with my song.
Yeah.
And if I really think like, okay, maybe this is really not the moment, or this is too much of that kind of music, then I tell him like, oh, maybe switch it with that one. And I think 9 out of 10 times he says like, oh yeah, good one. Or I say, oh yeah, perfect, you know. Yeah, because I mean, but I think that's in general when you work together. I mean, you guys work together already for 10 years. It's acceptance, you know.
Yeah, but still, like if we like your show is like 1/2 hour, 1 hour.
Yeah, most
something
of
like
the
that,
times.
Yeah, sometimes we play longer shows as well.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we play like 3 hours if it's like a VIP thing, or Yeah, most of the time we play 1.5 or 2 in America. But so then you have a lot of choices with tracks. So we kind of have these discussions. Like sometimes, like, hey, you. But it's nice. But we have like hand gestures, like under the table, like, hey, you should try this or that. Fuck that, that's a shit song.
Yeah, so nobody will notice.
Like you say, I mean, I think in your music there's so much more music.
Yeah. Or like, should we do something like for instance, in the US, they love like the urban hip hop.
Yeah.
So I think I would never try it on a hardstyle party. but for us, it's sometimes like because we never make it ourselves, but it just works sometimes for the sets or to police like certain groups in the crowd. So this kind of discussion do we have, like, should we drop this one here? Or we were in Prague once, I think that was like 5-6 years ago. And we thought like let's drop a hip hop song, man. And like everyone hated it.
They booed us out.
They booed us out. Yeah, they were like, okay, let's not do that.
That's not
Yeah, I think for us it's more easy to DJ because in hardstyle, the people they have their
and they come from hardstyle.
Yeah, they know what they can expect, And for you really have to adjust more to a crowd than we have.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think we always have a hardstyle crowd. Yeah. Like sometimes, for example, when you play Tomorrowland main stage, I of course you try to bring the main stage sound into hardstyle. So you probably combine Ed Sheeran vocals or whatever, with, like you guys do in EDM when you play on a main stage.
Yeah.
But when we play for our hardstyle crowd, they know what they're gonna get.
And that's actually the best, man. If we play for a fan crowd, like if it's really dedicated Sick Individuals crowd, it's always the best.
It's always
like,
the best, yeah.
But it's not everywhere. Like it's we do a lot of like festival, but that's has a broader variety of artists on the main stage. So then we have to tease everybody a little bit.
Yeah. And you guys have like a special show with your own visuals, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's what we do. Like I'm DJing. That's why I asked like how you guys do it, because you guys go back to back. We did that back in the day as well.
Swapping headphones.
Headphones. You have 2 headphones or 1 headphone?
One. Yeah, just switch.
One. And he's so sweaty, so I always use a towel to clean it up.
Sorry.
Old product. No, so that's what kind of we did. We had 2 headphones back then, but we were playing a lot in Vegas. We had a residency in Dre's in Las Vegas every month, and I think it was 2014. The bubble, like the EDM bubble, was really big there, so everybody was playing. But that is like I think quite fast already, especially in Vegas. It started that they were booking urban acts again.
Yeah,
more. So the big DJs like Martin Garrix, Chainsmokers, they were still performing.
Yeah,
but they were already booking. More vocal acts, urban acts.
Yeah.
So we felt we have to do something about it. Otherwise, we're gonna lose this residency. And for us, it was a really good, like, stable factor in our career to go there every month. So we figured out like, what do we need here in Vegas? Like, there's a lot of tours coming. They just love entertainment because, like, of course, there are Sick Individuals fans every month, but it's only a small portion of the crowd. So that's why we invented the visual show, and we were with 2 guys on stage. Why not 1 DJs and 1 that does visuals?
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, so then we started figuring out like a system that I can control the visuals from on the stage. So that has to do a lot of preps because you have to do a lot of preps for mapping the visuals before you start your show. So because every venue is different, every festival is different, and we want the lyrics behind us and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work, but we found a way to do it right now, and it really, we cannot even imagine a show without it anymore, because having the visuals and the music right at the same time, just having a bright flash on that snare or whatever, and it feels completely sync. You just, it just makes everything perfect, I think. And we're with 2 guys. So Jim is now DJing, and I'm on the visuals. And
and also like I think you guys were saying like your music is a lot kind of movie-like, and that's what we feel with some tracks, especially with our song as well. So most of the time when we create a track in the studio, I see already some colors, kind of like, hey, this track feels more bluish, this track feels more warm, so it should be red or it should be more yellow. Yeah. And is it the really like industrial vibe, or has it more? So in a way that, because we have our own team, like back in the day, Ray was actually making the visuals as well, like really creating them as well. And now we have 2 guys making them in our own team. And that really adds up to we really bring something to the club, to the festival. So it really we change the whole atmosphere by the music and by the visuals, and also the stage transforms, because like a VJ that kind of like VJs for every DJ has his own loops and is repeating it, maybe different colors, but we map it in a certain way that kind of the whole setting, the feels changes when we start our show. So, and for us, it's a really, really important factor. And I think also why we still have so many bookings. It's one of the reasons. And it was also a good selling point because one of the selling points is being in DJ Mag Top 100, of course. So people think of the lineup, okay, let's put him in on a better time slot because he's higher on DJ Mag. But now what our agent can like offer is saying like, no, Sick Individuals brings a visual show, so they have to be in the dark because that's more impact. Like, oh, right, okay, let's put them later on. So that's kind of like, and then maybe we combine it with fireworks. Oh, but only the last 3 DJs have fireworks. Okay, we put them 1 later even. Like these kind of like discussions we have. So we have a lot of benefits from the show. Yeah,
you guys are the only ones, I think, who do it like
to do it ourselves. Yeah,
ourselves.
Because we saw the show of Armin. Like Armin has a great, a visual show as well. Afrojack as well. So there are some guys doing time coding. Like that was kind of like the system.
I know that Cash is a 3 guys in the US. They do it.
Dance as well.
But they have another guy doing
it. We do it also with our Ghost Story set.
Yeah.
That's also one of the reasons why Ghost Stories is that exclusive, because in Hardstyle, believe it or not, because you guys are used to it, every show has visuals. Yeah. But in Hardstyle, there's almost no LED.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's so
really
funny.
Strange.
Like, with our shows, always LED.
And
a big difference.
Sometimes it's really difficult also for us because when we get like requests for Ghost Stories, if there's no LED available, it's such a big element of our of the experience. We have everything. We work with the same visual guys as Armin from Buren. They're really good. So we invested a lot in those visuals, and there's such a crazy experience. And to do a Ghost Story show without LED and without that kind of vibe, it's almost
You can't do it, when you sync all the lights and make the show, with fireworks and everything, then you could do it, but it still adds up, I mean, everything together makes it one. And if you take out that one element, it could still be really good, but it gives a lot of extra. But in Hardstyle, many of the organizations, they work more in a concept of their event and not really into branding of the artist or
that's
interesting in LED. Yeah,
because
really
with our scene, like especially when we tour in the US or in Asia, we're figuring it out how to keep up with the level of how the screens are looking right now, because there are clubs with like not 4K but 8K resolutions.
It's crazy.
Where our laptop is like it's like having
even on
big,
the ceiling
issues
LED is everywhere.
Our visuals have to be upgraded to 4K. The system has to be upgraded. So
bigger
and then with bigger computers, higher temperatures. These things we're busy with every day.
And for us, there's not even LED screens.
No, that's crazy.
So weird,
It's
but
such a big
I
difference.
kind of get it, because every time I go to a hard stuff party myself, it's all about the theme of the festival. So they really kind of like want to create this like movie-like vibe.
Yeah.
And I think the in general, the stages of hardstyle stages look way more beautiful by itself.
Yeah.
And I think the dance stages are more transforming into the DJ that plays. So it's also some like, especially in the US, they are really not about like putting any nice things next to the screens. They are really like just bars and screens, and like force DJs and do your thing.
Yeah.
And if there's a DJ performing with no visual guy or no visuals himself,
then there's nothing.
You see, like, no, there's nothing. Like, it's just like one loop of 10 seconds, like repeating.
Yeah.
It's kind of boring.
So I think it should be a kind of an investment. I think maybe in the next couple of years in hardstyle.
Yeah.
If you have like a big festival setup with big screens, that's at least 7 million euros.
Yeah.
And for definitely like Ray, they're gonna cross over.
Yeah.
So like we already talked about it, right? Hardstyle is going more mainstream in a way, or in a good way. Like don't like no mainstream. No, what I mean, like it's growing and it's also entering the main stage on Tomorrowland or the ultra main stage. And these kind of stages have a lot of LED. Maybe not Tomorrowland one.
Imagine if you guys are on ultra main stage and you don't have visuals.
Yeah, that's impossible.
That's why I mean, last year we already invested in visuals, but more visual loops.
Yeah.
So we made like 40 or 50 loops that we sent to every club.
Mm-hmm.
But like for 2020, when we do more main stage shows, then we need to have like our own visual guy to do it, and make also more content created on songs, because there's also always these 5 or 10 songs that you will play. So
that's perfect.
You should make these songs special, extra special by putting visuals back to it.
Yeah, I think also in the festival scene, like for example, we do a lot of shows in Holland, during the summer, but you only have like 1 hour, which
Yeah.
is completely dark. So it's
that's true.
it's a big investment for 1 hour
Yeah.
of LED.
Go to Asia.
Yeah. Of
There's
course.
always 3 hours in the dark. Like when in general,
Yeah.
like when we play Asian festivals, it's,
Yeah, that's all.
it's getting
yeah.
early dark. Or there's
Yeah.
always like three sets. In
But
the
I
dark.
I
think-
remember we
yeah.
played on like in Myanmar or somewhere.
Oh,
where you
yeah.
guys
Yeah.
told us like we just
Yeah.
have new loops.
Yeah, you guys completely smashed us with your show.
But no, but you smashed it with the music. So
There was such a big difference. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, we have some loops.
Yeah, we have loops with us. But,
But it's cool that Hardstyle is more in like with the lights and being synced to music, and the light guys are most of the time the same guys
Yeah.
that figured out what song is hyped right now.
They
and
are
come up
really
with
on
new
point.
stuff and,
Damn, like the
that's
laser
really
guy.
dope.
I don't know.
The
you guys-
laser guys are, for example, at every Q dance party, they're the same guys
Yeah,
always. So when we play a lot at those events, so they know exactly when they have to put on the lights.
Yeah,
and
that's
the
super
lasers,
cool.
and
It was
they know-
even because there's always these Dutch guys on all these festivals. I can remember we played at Wish Outdoor Mexico in May,
Oh yeah.
and we had our own loops, but we didn't have like dedicated loops for songs or anything. And then we played the Darkest Hour, the track we made with Sub-Zero Project. And the visual guy had his own loops of a clock spinning around, so he was putting the clock in behind us, and all the people were like, "Oh my god, everything was so on point." Well, I mean, it
was the
wasn't
guy
even our
himself.
fucking
Wow.
loop.
Because he loved the song so much, and he knew
I
obviously
can
they're gonna.
completely imagine that.
Yeah.
That if you're that kind of guy and you know the songs,
Yeah.
you want to just
Yeah.
be the best.
Then you're passionate about
Yeah.
your work.
Yeah, and
that's
we
true.
told him like, "Oh
Yeah.
man, you killed it for us,
Yeah.
man. Thank you so much." It was a really, really
Next
awesome.
time, bring him on tour.
Yeah, we'll definitely will. We told him like,
Yeah.
"All right, I will remember that.
Yeah,
Remember that."
But yeah, it also has to do with like getting more professional, with hardstyle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things that change for the scene and also for us. Like 2 years ago, we didn't do like a show a year where there's LED, and now is more and more. So you have to invest in that and also learn from other ones to get to that level. I mean, it has to grow still.
It's also cool that for the hardstyle fans that they can have another extra in
Yeah.
the next couple of years,
Yeah.
because the experience with visuals and light synced and the music, which is awesome, then wow, that's the
Yeah.
max you can experience.
I mean, that's pretty
probably,
much
right?
what we do with Ghost Stories right
Yeah.
now. I mean, the 5 shows that we did, like people were going like, wow,
Yeah.
this is so
It's
crazy,
another
because you
level.
have
It's
all the
another
video
level.
clips that are
Oh, yeah.
implemented in the
Yes.
visuals.
Yeah.
And then like everything that's happening. I still remember when we played at Reverse with all the fire, and there were LED screens on top of the Sportpaleis in Antwerpen. And the fire was really literally coming towards you,
yeah.
I mean, you can't do that without LED, and that makes it so much more special.
Yeah, and my
Nice.
sister as well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
live singer
yeah, that's so
for
dope.
half
It's
an hour.
another extra feature.
Another
Yeah.
extra feature. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. How do you guys tour a lot in Asia, right? And how do you find your balance between your health and touring
Good
a
one.
lot? And because you have to work out a bit or something. How do you guys
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing,
We
yeah.
were just talking about it before
Yeah.
going live. This guy's kickboxing like crazy.
Yeah, I can't walk. I'm really happy that I'm sitting.
Yeah.
But it's good to have
Yeah.
this balance in like your health is so important, especially while touring. So what we do, and like if we have 10 shows, for instance, we don't try to drink at the first 5 shows. And how it kind of works. It kind of because when we started out, we thought like,
It's
oh,
really bad.
I thought you were gonna say we don't drink at the first show.
no, 5
Our
shows.
first 5 shows.
So-
All right, fair enough.
It was when we started, and most of the time, like the first show is already super nice. So you're like, wow, and these people are so lovely to work, and that's also
Yeah.
the thing. Like maybe for the listeners to this podcast, like it's interesting because we tour so much, we play so many parties, but for the people that invite us, it's their special day.
Yeah.
Like maybe they waited for like some clubs that invite us, they only invite one international DJ a year because it's the celebration of the club. But this kind of thing has happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're waiting for such a long time to have us over, and they want to have drinks together, and whatever.
Yeah.
After our set, they want to do an after party, and maybe after that, another after party.
Yeah.
So they want to crush it, and we do like 10 of these shows in a row, so we cannot crush it every night.
No.
So when we started DJing, like I think I was like 19, 20, so I could crush it a little more. So
Times have changed.
yeah, no, we're
Getting old.
Yeah, well, a little bit more like, or maybe more
Grown up.
grown up, and we know like we want to be in the end like after a tour, we don't want to lie down for a week. We just want to maybe do like some days off, 2 days or 1 day, and then go back into the studio.
But I think that's the first mistake you make when you have your first tour, like 6 or 7 shows, and the first one you go really hard and you have a good time with the promoters and then the next day comes and then you have a problem.
Oh man,
you
we
know?
were so many times so sick in airplanes, and being hangover in an airplane is the worst.
that's-
You're sweating, and
Is that where your name came from?
yeah, kinda, and then we
The
fall
drinking,
asleep, and then the how do you say, like the stewardess, the
Flight attendant.
flight attendant is coming along. More water, and then he gives a little like scoop of water. Like, come on, give me like some bottles of water.
Advil.
yeah.
Totally dehydrated.
Yeah, totally. So
Yeah.
no, and the air in planes is bad. So we can complain forever, but it's in the end it's all nice. Like we love the work we do, but definitely like we need to take care of our health. And especially now, you took a burnout even. So
Yeah, I took a burnout.
Yeah,
I took a
it's,
burnout.
Yeah. Well,
Burnout.
can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that? Because
Yeah, sure.
it was pretty heavy. It was also in the time we had.
Yeah, like we just talked about it. It was like before the show. It's crazy how many people are talking about it right now.
Yeah.
It's such a hot topic. DJs just falling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people have a burnout, and it's almost like a fashionable word. You know, like I have a burnout, he has a burnout, and some people don't really know what a burnout actually is. So sometimes they just do a little bit too much. They feel high pressured, and they get tired, and they're stressed out. That's not a burnout. A burnout is something really heavy. It's like a small time being very depressed. So that's a part that we experienced 2 years ago.
yeah, 2.5, kind of like
2.5 years ago.
No, I 2015, I think.
Yeah.
After 2015, it
And
was the
it-
heaviest year till now for us. As
Yeah.
well.
And if you have the job that we have, it's very important that you figure out who you are as a person, what you can handle, and don't look at your partner too much, what he can handle, because you have to be yourself. And that's something I did wrong in that period. I was just looking at, he's still going, he's still fresh.
Yeah.
I can probably still do it. And those times we did so many shows. I think we did 160 flights a year. So many shows, and you just have to figure out that there's some point you have to actually have a personal life as well, and not being the DJ or the artist or the happy person. And it's kind of a role that you are in, and that's something you have to learn about as well. But also your personal life, there's also always things going on. So your mom and dad or the things in the family that are happening, but you're on tour and you're having this DJ life where everything has to be perfect and happy and it's positive energy. But you also have to give that energy, the part of being at home and having a girlfriend or something. And that's those kind of things that didn't give energy at all. And at some point, the guy with the hammer came and smashed me out of the system.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with a DJ called Joey Suki. He was actually helping us out with social media. And he said, like, wow, you really have a nice car. And I was like, yeah, I love this car so I can drive back to my mom and dad a little bit more. And he was like, wow, that's actually a weird kind of, normally just you say like, yeah, I just love cars. I like this car. And you say like, you want to drive back to your parents. And then at that point I was like, wow.
Now he asked you, right? Like, how many times did you actually drove to your
Yeah.
parents? And you were like, and then you snapped.
Yeah, and then
kinda,
I snapped. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
damn,
wow,
I need to spend more time with my family that I actually love a lot, and and I've been busy too much, and then the energy just drained out of me, and I couldn't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
But before that, it was crazy because all these signals I ignored,
Yeah.
and that's what happens a lot.
Of
You
course.
have to learn to see those signals. At some point, my arm wasn't working as well as it should be. So I was just not feeling my arms and hands anymore. And I was working in the studio. And I was like, this hand is not doing, it
it's
doesn't
supposed to
feel
do.
right.
Mhm.
So I need to go to the doctor. And I asked, like, at the first emergency, like, can I go to the airplane tonight because I have to do shows? My arm, I'm not feeling my arm. we cannot find anything what's going on, so you can still go on to the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
also like
Yeah.
you were kind of like really itchy about if something happens
Yeah.
on tour. Like he was
security
stressed out,
guys.
like boom, like or
I always had
security
the
guys.
biggest problems with.
Security guys stopped the ray. Like, what are you doing? And then I just want to explain with loud music that we're the DJs. We should go to the stage. And like, but then like, you didn't have the patience for that
No.
back then. So it was also for me and in also between us and also just I think for everybody. In the end, we could like now thinking back about that time, you were like, okay, that was not the real Ray we saw back then. Like, everything was too much already.
Yeah.
For a long time, we lost 3 tour managers in that period because no one could do well, and if we had like some more, they will all fail because it was not about the tour manager, it was about us.
Yeah.
So that was just a weird time, and I'm happy like we're back.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, but I think it's so difficult because you're so passionate about what you're doing, you know,
Yeah,
that
that's the problem.
you almost want to throw away everything for that one goal, you know? I mean, because this is like from your heart, you know, the music you make, the things you do, performing for the people, the energy you get back from the people. That's almost where you live for, but it's not life.
But the thing is,
it's such a different life.
Yeah.
It's also
and also like the what we felt like growing the business, because it's also a business, and we never thought of ourselves as business guys. Actually, we just love music.
Yeah.
And we met each other in art school. We just like hanging around. Like we had our loan from the government, so we like we didn't work. Like we just like with our pajamas. Like some more music. Yeah, you have a beer, thanks, bro. Like we were like that.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, we were earning some money, and then we got in contact with a business manager or like a manager, and then labels and contracts came, and you need lawyers and all these things. That was not my passion actually.
No.
But it all came along with the job, and I think running a DJ business is also really running a business at a certain point. So, and now we're still talking about like how much days in the week do we spend actually on music, and how much days do we spend with the book and fun talking about music? No,
Way too little.
Way too little. No, I mean like doing business and going to your accountant and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of like breaks you up. You have to really separate that, and we're still working on that. Like by 2015, we were earning so much, we thought like we should give everything away in a way that like we hire a good guy for our money. We hire a good guy for this. We hire someone for that. And then we kind of lost control.
Yeah.
So a lot of things went wrong because we gave everything away except for the music.
Yeah.
So, and then we were kind of like the next year we were just repairing everything because the other people did wrong.
Yeah.
So now our new strategy is more like in-house. So the visuals are created in-house. The accountant is in-house. So everything is now like in the same building.
Yeah.
And our management is really close to us, though they visit us every week. So that kind of works. And now we're spending slowly, but not giving everything away immediately, because then it backfires in the end.
Yeah.
I think it's also a bit easier for our scene, you know, to deal with these things, because you guys pretty much only tour away from home.
Yeah.
Like we have the whole summer we've been in Holland pretty
I'm
much.
so jealous.
Holland is our base, you know. I mean, 3 months we just go and fly back and forth to France, or we fly to Italy.
Yeah.
But your home is home in that
great.
period. And for you guys, you do tours. It's always US. It's always Asia. Australia.
Yeah, but even
you know?
if you're like, if it doesn't really matter what kind of job you have, if you're really passionate, the passionate people always get a burnout.
Yeah.
They're like so passionate in making music or doing a great job or doing a great interview or whatever. They want everything to be perfect and 100% or more. And that's sometimes the struggle when you don't know what your max is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the reason why you are this good at your job. It's so
it's-
hard to balance your
for
life and your work
Yeah.
in a good way. And that's probably the reason why a lot of times it goes.
Yeah, there
completely
are
wrong,
so
yeah.
many artists, so many DJs who try to make it. So you always have the feeling. I still have it sometimes when I'm at home. You know, I can't sit still. You know.
You think,
I
I need
always
to work
got.
now.
I always got the feeling like, all right, I'm at home, but other guys in the
You
studio
open
right now.
Instagram and then
But we kind of like in our like way of life now is more balanced. I think after the burnout for sure. Like on like Mondays when we did a tour in the weekend, we take off, and then it's really nice to take off because on the Tuesday you're with more fire in the studio, so your creativity is on a higher level.
Yeah.
So if I'm tired in the studio, I cannot really make stuff.
Yeah.
And if I'm really feel good and work out, because come back to your question, like what do you do? It's like working out, eating healthy, try to eat as healthy as possible.
Yeah.
So on airports it's hard because only McDonald's, Burger King are so open. So then we
Very
still
healthy.
eat it. But like in US, it's getting better now,
Yeah.
like with healthy smoothies or whatever.
Yogurt barn or
Yeah, like these kind of things. So we try to do that definitely. And what else do we do to stay healthy?
I think it's very important just to feel balanced. So ask yourself if you're comfortable with the situation you're in. And that's something I've learned now.
Yeah.
So am I comfortable going to a party because the promoter's asking me to go there? Or so at first I asked myself, oh, I'm actually pretty tired. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to this party. I'm going to sleep now. So and then the next day I'll feel like energetic. Or I'm going to this party because I've asked myself, can I do this, or do I like to go there? Or and so you're not being held up by the whole scene anymore. You're in
making
control.
your own,
Especially with
Yeah.
dinner, like promoters, like before the show, they always ask you, like, hey, you want to have dinner?
Yeah.
And it's nice to have dinner with the promoter, especially if you go for a weekend trip. But if you do 11 shows and you're away for like 2 weeks, every time to have dinner with someone new and talk about kind of the same stuff, because they always ask the same question, and you're like in a busy restaurant and you're super tired. And that kind of like drains energy as well. So I just want to save my energy for the show. So what we do now, like most of the time we don't do it, and if someone asks, then we sometimes do it. If we know someone or we see someone for the second time or third time, then it's nice. But we don't want to hang out with. We always hang out already with so many new people. Sometimes it's just nice to order room service, prepare your set a little bit, make some music,
and those are maybe the only 2-3 hours of sleep that you have on that day or in that evening. So you have to make the decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
We did it in June as well. We finished so much music before June. And we knew like June, July, August was going to be crazy, like touring. Like we had 20, 22 gigs a month.
Yeah.
And was going also a lot in Europe and during the week everywhere. And we said to each other, all right, we're not going to make any music. You know, it's just, and when we want to, we can, you know, obviously, but we didn't go to the studio for a month or maybe one day.
The pressure is on, you know. Yeah. There's so much artists that they want to have your job or have your position where you are. And it's just very important that you say to yourself, like, okay, this is the max that we can do, and we're going to make the best of it.
Just feel comfortable about the situation you're in. And say to each other, well, even if someone else is now making the biggest hit of the year, it is what it is. You know, you can't be on point 365 days a year. I mean, you have to take rest and believe in that you'll make the best out of it after you come back into the studio.
And in the end, it's about enjoying. So then you enjoy it way more as well. Like if we spend some more time in the studio and then go back on tour, we enjoy touring so much more than touring like after tour after another. So like now we did a lot of touring. We can't wait that ADE is coming, like Amsterdam Dance Event. That's always more like a period that we are more in Holland.
Yeah.
So we are now preparing for these kind of sets because everybody's coming to ADE. They want to see what news we have to offer. Yeah. So I'm really happy to be in Holland. Like, I'm like, and also we can chill with you guys, have some dinner after. So that's great.
And also, you should guys you should join us again to a big event.
Yeah,
for example, Climax.
When is
I don't know if you guys are free on Climax, but we play on 23rd of November.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, hopefully. I don't know.
Let's do it.
Yeah, because
I was selling cigarettes.
Like that's a funny story.
Yeah, actually, when I was that was my part-time job back then. Yeah. So for the Dutch viewers and listeners, you always have these. If you want to buy cigarettes, you have these little tabak, whatever it sells. What is this? Tobacco stand, like white or like a little white thing, and I don't know what it is. No, not even a tent. It's like a van or whatever. And I was like as a like part-time job, I was doing this like, I don't know, 14 hours in a row, like selling cigarettes. We actually made a lot of money. I think this business I worked for, I didn't make a lot of money, but I think the business made a lot of money because everybody's on something. So everybody wants to smoke a lot.
Cigarettes.
And cigarettes. So I had the most, like, the best conversation with these people. Like they were like so out of their mind. They couldn't even find their money anymore. So they were like, bro, just handing me their whole wallet. Like, how much can I buy? I want so many cigarettes. I was just like picking out money. Like, here, you have a lighter as well. Like, oh wow. So it was so funny. And if I had a good spot, I was working there for a little bit longer, and I could choose my spot. So at DEF CON, for instance, I had the main stage spot. I could look at the whole show and just sell cigarettes. So
that's a good job.
It was a really good job. And then I remember also I met my first contacts because we were like kind of like starting with this Flute Test remix I was telling you earlier. So we were kind of like making whatever 100, 200 euros a show in really like small venues. So I still had to work at this tobacco company, but I already met some people in the scene. So from promoters or like some label bosses came to the tobacco stand like, hey, now you're still working here, but later on you will play there. And then like after a year, it was really true because then we were playing at these kind of festivals and the tobacco stands were still there. And then I kind of like met my crew from the tobacco, but I was not working for them anymore. I was like playing at the festival.
That's
awesome. Great. And they're really
such a great story.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's so
You've been to some parties with us.
Yeah.
You've never been with us, right?
Yeah, I think one party I went to. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
I went to DEF CON with you guys.
CON,
I went to
Rebirth.
Rebirth. Rebirth was amazing. I was like so hyped. I love Hardstyle. For me, going there, like it's also I don't know that many people there, so it's great. I don't have to talk about business. Just lose my mind and like
Now everybody will recognize you. At some point.
this crazy dude again.
That's a tobacco guy. Can I buy some cigarettes?
It's a nice DJ name.
Tobacco guy. I'm the tobacco guy.
Yeah.
Really a big mask of cigarettes.
Yeah. Please welcome Tobacco Guy.
Tobacco guy. Live.
I'm gonna smoke you up.
Get a good
Love
sponsorship.
Yeah.
Out of that, the tobacco.
No, but definitely, man. Every year, or we should at least do one or two together.
Yeah.
Nice. And also,
Let's do it.
for me as a performer, it's nice to sometimes not perform and just enjoy the performance.
Yeah.
And,
Sometimes I miss that kind of.
What's your favorite like show? Like okay, of course the DEF CONs like are probably a lot of preparation and a lot of new work, but that's also when you're like super focused.
Yeah.
So what's the show for you guys that you're gonna really enjoy? It feels like a homecoming.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the situation. For example, I was talking to Diederik about that last week. We played in Austria 1.5 weeks ago, and it was the first gig in a club after the whole festival season, you know. And at the beginning of the festival season, we played DEF CON, so many new songs, and we released the video set of the recording. We released that on YouTube. And when you see after 3 months after the festival season, you come back into a club and people already screaming and singing along to these new songs, even though it's a small club, you know, and it was packed, but it was still small. I think 600-700 people. But you can really feel the energy on your new music that makes you so proud, you know.
Nice.
Yeah,
and that's the only thing you can experience in such a small, intimate setting.
Yeah.
But for example, Climax in 2 months is coming, and we're so looking forward to that because it's just another milestone where you can like put new music out. People will instantly recognize it because it's all big Hardstyle fans that really look forward to that event. So music wise and for the name, these big shows are really important.
So when is this Climax?
23rd of
November.
And it's kind of like a promotion we're doing here.
No, but they're already sold out. So.
Okay.
Tickets
but also
not
what crossed my
available.
mind is I think that's maybe funny for the people to know. Like when I see you guys at a festival, you always kind of bring your own team.
Yeah.
Not even people that work for you, but just like friends, family, always kind of the same crew.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like something I envy at myself as well. Like we play so many shows far away, so the flight costs are so expensive, so we cannot bring like too many people. We bring a camera guy, and if it's a really big festival, we bring a tour manager as well. So we're traveling with 4 people. And if it's a business related thing, we bring a management. But we never bring that many people. And in playing in Holland, that many shows, it's nice. You guys have a big car.
The last couple of shows we did in Holland,
we brought everybody.
Like 12 or 15 people, and the promoter's like, okay,
more
nice.
guest list, and we need more wristbands, but
but it's cool.
That's amazing because you can share, and then sharing with friends, like your own, like give them a little side of your world. That's really, really nice.
And to share those moments with your loved ones is the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
For example, we talked about it before, and everybody knows this story when the CD players messed up at DEF CON and with all the tracks and all. And we came out of that so confused, you know, we just finished our set and we were confused because we saw that the public was going crazy, the crowd was going insane, but it wasn't the set that we supposed to play, you know. And we went down and we saw our friends and family and all. They were like, "Oh, it was so great! Oh, it was so good!" And we were like, "What? No, it wasn't that, or was it? You know, it was so." But
awesome.
it's good that those guys are there.
Yeah.
You sit on the way back home. They say, "Oh, it was so good, so good," and then you're a little bit more, secure.
That's
yourself.
so nice. Yeah,
So that's really a good thing. And both our parents went to Climax as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was so.
You brought them some earplugs.
Yeah. It was
My mom
so-
says, after all these years, I finally understand why this music is so loud. Because the only thing she was hearing like boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom.
yeah.
But when you see the energy and the crowd reaction to that energy, then you understand why it's in there, you know? That's what we always say to people, like, hardstyle, it's a bit loud and everything. I can imagine when you listen to it on the radio or in your car,
Doesn't have that impact. Yeah. It's
that you
different.
don't really understand it,
Yeah.
you know? But when you see it happening, then you can actually enjoy and also appreciate why the music is made as it is.
So
So
that's
it's
also something we would really love to do, right? Like bring our parents. Like we never did that.
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't
like together.
No, well, like
yeah.
we play like
Yeah.
one of our goals, or for my personal goal was like playing Sensation wide before 25.
Yeah.
So we achieved that. We played several Sensation all
Yeah.
over the world, but we never played the Sensation Amsterdam. And in the end, like the last Sensation ever, we played Sensation Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Really in the end. But we couldn't bring our parents because Sensation is pretty strict with the guest list. So we brought some people, and also we played only a 20-minute set at that Sensation. But these kind of shows, like you're talking about Climax, DEFCON, these kind of show you want to bring your parents because then they have their own place. They can sit or they can have a drink.
Yeah.
And sometimes at our job is also so really crappy. There's no really backstage, so that's not really an experience. I want to bring my parents to like a big show.
But that's something you're a little bit worried about while you're having a show.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah,
You're
of
like,
course.
I want to make sure my mom and dad are
Yeah,
good.
they don't know anything,
Are they
like-
in the right spot?
Yeah.
Is there a
Of course.
right person like helping them out? Or,
Exactly.
You know, that's important.
Yeah, and my parents are they're a little bit crazy themselves.
I know that they're also musicians, so they know the scene.
So they're like, "Oh, don't worry, we're just and
But
so
your parents is
yeah.
different, maybe.
my mom is a bit different than his mom. His mom is really outgoing. My mom is really calm and like looking and experiencing in a different way. So for her, it's a lot better to have like a calm and peaceful place to
look at it.
And your mom, it just goes on the picture. Everybody's like, oh, you're old. Why are you here? Oh, that's my son over there. Oh, you want to take a photo? Okay. And they just take photos.
so many lovely people over here. They all want to have photos with me. I'm like, this.
And then we said, everybody's on drugs. So of course.
They're so friendly. They're so friendly. Oh, I love all those people.
But that was actually for me as well. Like going to the hardstyle party, whatever, when I was 16 for the first time. I saw, because I don't know what is about hardstyle, but you guys have so much muscle. So it's always these muscly guys on the dance floor, and I'm like, holy, I'm so small, I'm so tiny.
Yeah, but it's
And we'll see. And then they were all so loving, and then they were come, like whatever, like let's party together. So it's one big family, and I think I never experienced any vibe like a hardstyle festival on a dance event. So the hardstyle crowd is really united.
Yeah.
And that's really special. I never experienced that. Maybe with a drum and bass, but it's only in the club. But you guys do it with thousands of people.
Yeah, I think nowadays it actually works for the hardstyle scene that it is so energetic and that tempo, you know, because there's a lot of people like really taking care of their bodies, going to the gym, like hard running or like muscle training and everything, and you have a lot of the beast mode list where they put hardstyle in. Australia is really big on gym and going to fitness and everything. So we really saw Australia blowing up with hardstyle. You know, the biggest events in Australia are now hardstyle events, and Asia, because in Asia there's like the K-pop stuff and like a lot of energy stuff with kick and bass 150. So they already know the energy and the vibe of the music. So actually nowadays it kind of works for the music instead of holding it back, you know? So it's really, it really changed a lot the last couple of years. So for our scene, it's really, really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so fun. It's, and I think also because we've seen the house scene as well, and we played there as well, you really appreciate it more.
Yeah.
that's what you said, right? When going
Yeah.
back to more hardstyle festivals.
Yeah.
Where you said sometimes you were playing a house set and a hardstyle
Yeah,
set
but
at
that
one
was
festival.
that was pretty fun. We did the DBSTF on the main stage, and then we played hardstyle on the hardstyle stage,
That's dope.
and it was completely different. But it was a really cool experience,
Yeah.
Nice.
actually, to witness those kind of different energy on one festival. It was just a stage around the
Yeah.
corner, you know. It was
That's
pretty
special,
fun
yeah.
to do, actually. Yeah, but it's almost impossible in the current day and age that to have both careers, like two kinds of music at the
You
top
have to
level.
focus.
Yeah.
You have to have that
Yeah.
focus on just one, and we didn't want to leave hardstyle, you know, because we want to make both. But I think when looking back, you really got to stick to one
Yeah,
Yeah.
one genre. If you want to do it good, you can do it. Just we make different kinds of
As an
music as well,
extra,
you
yeah,
know,
of course.
as an extra. But if you really want to make it to the top level as a career, you gotta have some focus.
yeah, sure.
Focus on that part. I really think that's important.
Uh, We guys should. I mean, we did some house collabs, but now we actually should do a hardstyle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we would
yeah, we
love
should-
to, man.
yeah, yeah, we
especially
should.
now with we could definitely bang some out because sometimes we're already playing like one or two hardstyle tracks in the end,
Yeah.
or we try to get some remixes of our own song in a hardstyle formula. No, definitely. Like,
And we gotta like the craziest chord progressions.
yeah,
and,
man. That's what we love about hardstyle. You can
Yeah.
go like so crazy with the
Yeah, if we're
chords.
gonna create something, I wanted to create something like
Yeah.
really
Epic,
dope, you know?
like,
really
Yeah,
epic.
but you guys
Yeah.
can. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
of
mean,
course. Yeah, but that's a good idea, bro.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah. We should do that. Yeah, that will be fun. Like the sick individuals turning into
Yeah.
hearts.
Yeah. That's gonna
It's
be
a good hardstyle
And
name.
then you
by
do the
way.
kick layering,
Sick
so it's, that will be fine. It will sound
Yeah.
like it will
Yeah,
sound good.
yeah.
we'll make sure the kicks are good.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
Right. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Your kicks, I'm like, wow. And I played in the studio. I'm like, Ray, we should whatever. Like,
Buy new ceiling.
yeah, I think so.
So you guys were already talking about ADE. What are you guys doing for ADE this year? Is there any show we can
Yeah.
come to?
We're playing
three-
on the Revealed in at the Q Factory on Saturday.
Revealed
that's the
night, yeah.
19th.
Oh, we can come.
I'm so sorry, but that's going to be a great show where we're going to play a lot of new music.
Oh, sweet.
And on that day before, on Friday, we're going to do a show together with Mike Williams.
Ah, cool.
And he's going to do a very special show in the church where he's going to play piano and everything. And we're going to play a set as well.
And the
So we have
collab
a
is coming up.
collaboration
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys were sitting in the studio.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. And he's very talented and very cool to work with. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we're working with people that are not really trained musicians,
Yeah.
but he is, and he knows how to play the piano. So we have kind of the same workflow, the same kind of way of making and creating music.
Yeah.
So after being in the studio, I was like, wow, this is actually was really
Nice
nice
for once.
Yeah, and also the
Sometimes
song was
it's
already there.
hard, yeah.
Like in one day, the song was already
Yeah.
there.
We had the same when we collaborated.
Yeah, same
Like,
story.
ah,
Yeah, we were like, okay, finally we found someone
Yeah.
that feels like leveled, and we can
Yeah.
actually talk on the same level and
Yeah.
create something that you're like in the same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
And we're doing
I
our
think.
own show, right? We're doing a sit down. Which day is that?
We're in Sydney.
Yeah.
It's on Friday as well.
Okay, so we're doing at the Amsterdam Tower.
Yeah.
We're doing 3 sessions. We do that every year. I think this is
Yeah.
the 5th year we do that. So we bring like everybody's here, like all over the world, like whatever, upcoming DJs, upcoming producers, but also fans. So they can meet us and we chat with them. And mostly it's like people that envy our career. So, or they want to do something like us.
Yeah.
And we just help them and explaining about even contracts, about musical decisions, about management, about label decisions. So
Do you
they-
listen to music?
Yeah,
also,
so it's,
yeah.
so it's actually called Sit Down with Sick Individuals, and I
Yeah.
think like 4 years ago we started with this, and there's so much artists that need just a little bit of help, or they
Yeah.
need some tips and tricks, or they need some experience how the scene actually works, so they can play their own music. They can ask questions like related to the business or to questions about us or about their career, what they should do. And so it's like 30 people every session. We do 3 sessions, and it's going to be together with Gibson in the Amsterdam Tower. So
that's pretty
gonna
cool.
be really cool.
Yeah, so if you want to, guys,
Yeah.
can people still join?
Yeah,
or
so
you can
just
still
go to
join.
our
Yeah.
website, sickindividuals.com, and then
Alright.
you can still
I
send a
email why you want
be
it.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's already questions from the people watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are asking for a collab, actually.
Well, that
gonna happen.
I don't think so.
no.
Hell no.
No.
No, for sure, guys.
Nope.
Well, I got some interesting ones. Of course, you're quite known for your remixing part of the music. Which one was the most challenging for you to do?
Mhm.
Challenging. Oh wow. Challenging.
Yeah, I remember we did like a remix for Far East Movement and Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
And by then, Justin Bieber was the most hated artist ever.
It was before the Major Lazer.
yeah. So it wasn't cool at all.
Yeah.
And then, but we wanted to do this remix because it was great attention, of course. So we were figuring out how are we gonna do this remix because we still want to be ourselves and then still
We wanna play it out
implement Justin Bieber. That's like the hardest thing ever.
True.
Yeah,
we want to play it out live as well. And in our sets, Justin Bieber back then was like, baby. I'm like, how can we figure it out? But also it was a kind of like opportunity for us like to gain some name in the scene. And also I think it was the first remix that we earned some money with.
Yeah.
Like proper money because we in the beginning you get like 100 euros for a remix. And
Now we popped some champagne
Justin
for
gave
sure.
us two grand, 2,000 euros. And we're like, wow, 2,000 euros as a student. It's amazing, of course.
Yeah.
So, we were like popping champagne. And like, we're gonna be rich. No. But we thought like this is actually a business. Oh, but it was,
We made it.
we made it.
Mom, we made it.
I'm done.
No, but that was actually challenging. And
Yeah.
also, we did some. That's also a thing that some fans ask us, like, should we take this remix? And we, especially in the beginning of your career, don't be too picky about the names. So we did one for Pauly D, for instance.
Yeah.
Pauly D, like he was also not really a credible name, of course, but also has a great following. And if we got the song, we thought, okay, we can do something with it. And then we really implemented our own sound into it, and then it works. And for now, we only do remixes by like if we get inspired to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So and that's the way you should go. But
Yeah.
in the beginning, you should do some water by the wine.
What about it?
Pauly D is one of the most earning DJs nowadays.
Pauly D is
That's
really
why we work with him.
Yeah,
Pauly D is
Pauly
really.
he's like on 25 million a year. So.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, damn, yeah.
We're
Yeah, he
doing
got
something
really famous
wrong.
for the Jersey Shore
Yeah,
show.
that
and-
live
So
show.
by then, when we got the remix, I was like, "Oh, here we go again." You know, how are we gonna do this? But eventually, it got us so much attention, also in the in the remix market.
Yeah.
So after that, we got Madonna, and we got David
Chesto.
Guetta, we got Chesto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Chainsmokers that we did recently.
we just
Yeah.
recently did a remix for Chainsmokers.
Yeah, so remixing is really fun, and it's nice to have already some elements, and then just go on to that. And most of the time, we only take the vocal and make everything ourselves.
Yeah.
Remixing was a good way for us to spread our name as well. Because in the beginning, everyone is doing remixes in our scene, house scene. Everyone was doing remixes back then. We were like, damn, why don't you make your own originals? And then we made our own originals and tried to sign it. No one wanted to sign it because Sick Individuals, who are these guys?
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta make name for yourself by
So,
remixing track.
And then we did some remix and then, okay, you had like whatever. We did the Icona Pop one that was really iconic. Chester was opening it on Ultra with our remix. So
We were in the crowd, like on the sideline, and watching him opening with our track. We're like, okay,
this is
Okay.
nice.
Yeah.
This is so
Really
these kind
nice.
of moments you
Yeah.
realize, okay, and then you whatever, you tape that out and then you show it to a label, and then he's there, okay, definitely, like you made already some good hits by remixing. Now you earn a original release on our label, and that's kind of how it all started.
It's pretty fun because I think it's in hardstyle. It's completely different. If a song has potential and the song is great, they're gonna release it
That's
anyways.
dope.
Depends
I
on
would
the
love
name.
to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I think
There's
we're
a lot of hardstyle tracks that fans wouldn't like to be remixed. Also,
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also true that. Yeah,
I think just
touching
our
the
scene is a
emotion.
little bit more mainstream, where if you don't have enough followers, they don't not even gonna listen.
More
to you.
business people involved.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah,
the
true.
contracts. I don't want to talk about the contract too much, but the contracts are way different in our scene and your
Yeah.
scene. So I think it's I like in that way I like it better. With the hardstyle, I think.
You never know after our collab. What?
what
Yeah,
happens?
and
Yeah.
start a new career. in
Sick
hardstyle.
individuals
Oh,
on
man.
DEFCON.
We'll see. We'll see.
This is sick live.
Yeah,
I would love to do it.
Yeah,
actually.
sick live.
the tobacco man.
Yeah,
The tobacco man, yeah.
the hard
After
individuals.
party with tobacco.
The hard individuals. Yeah, but sometimes it can also be refreshing to do it like once or something. Maybe turn all your songs into hardstyle songs and then make one-off show.
Would love to.
Yeah.
Man, but then I will sit with Dieter for 2 weeks.
I already said it to him once. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But how cool would it be to go to like the biggest Raw festival, for example, like Supremacy or something, and then do D Block Nest Van songs, but then raw, like really raw for half an hour live set, one-off show, you know, and never ever do it again, but just that one time.
Man.
Could be cool to surprise the people, you know.
Yeah, totally.
It could
But
be,
it's
but
just
too much
so
work.
much work.
Yeah.
But it will be fun though.
Yeah.
Need a ghost.
Yeah. Yeah, we got enough ghosts.
Yeah,
already.
right? Yeah.
All right. And we always have a statement at the podcast. And sometimes it's a little bit controversial and we don't know what the statement is. And he's going to tell, or did you forget?
This week's statement, or this month's statement, is the festival scene is killing the club scene.
It's true though.
Yeah, kind of is.
In Holland it is.
Yeah.
In Holland it already happened. Like they're all killed. All that. No, kind of like it's really sad.
Yeah,
I think.
it's sad. It's a shame. Like clubs are a lot of fun to play in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are
And it's
saving all
very
their money
different.
for the
Yeah.
festivals. They don't want to spend in the club anymore. So, like, I nowadays I live in Utrecht. Sorry, Den Haag. I love it. Still. And you don't have any great clubs there. It's all like bars and shitty sound systems.
Yeah.
So it's really bad. And then we cross over to other countries, especially Asia. They are opening new clubs every day.
Yeah.
And the sound system and LEDs we were just talked about is amazing.
But they're almost like small venues.
yeah, there's small venues.
There are thousands of people in
we
the
don't
club.
have
You're
any
like,
of
wow.
these in Holland anymore.
No.
Matrix is
No.
No, it's,
and
You can have some dinner over there.
Brothers in Bunnik we played back in the
Oh,
day.
yeah.
It's gone.
Or like
Oh, gone.
all
yeah.
these, it's so sad because they were really nice.
Locomotion.
Meer, jongen,
Yeah.
ja. Zoetje.
Asta, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. I
I think it's one of the main reasons. I think there's some other ones. Because like clubbing, I think clubbing, for me at least, it used to be something that I did when I was like 15, 16, 17. And nowadays you're not allowed to smoke anymore in clubs. The drinks are 18 and over, where it used to be 16 and over. So kids, they don't really fancy going anymore. They just chill at home or go to the city and go to the cinemas or whatever and drink at home, smoke at home. When you're not allowed, it's not that much fun anymore. Especially in that age where you drink your first drinks and smoke your first cigarettes, you know, then
It has to be some kind of like cycle, like where at some point clubs have to come up again because
maybe.
I know the festivals are very big in Holland right now, and there are so many new festivals coming. Even a couple of years ago, there were so many festivals where also we played festivals where it was terrible. Like there was the first time they did it, they never did it again. But also I think that maybe sometimes
It's gonna go back.
It's gonna go back at some point because it's so interesting experiencing a club night. And for the people that never went to a club, if you're in the club, it's so different than a festival. You cannot even compare it, I think.
And what still is going on, like with more the underground scene in Holland, there are definitely clubs playing underground music, and I think a lot of people, Berlin of course as well. But if I talk to more people that are a bit more into the scene, I'm talking about Asians, or they all come to Holland for club or like little like underground techno parties or. Yeah, and that's kind of like still happening a lot, but it's more in our genre. I'm talking about my point of view, and that's really rare. And also the clubs don't make that much money anymore, so they are not capable to book new international acts. So that was already
I actually know a couple of DJs also in the hardstyle scene that really put some focus on clubs as well. They still go to some certain clubs that they have been playing for a long time, even maybe for half their bookings fee. Just take that club every year for once, you know, to keep that crowd interested in their brand. Because for us, it's also really difficult, you know. In Holland, we don't really play much clubs anymore. It's really hard to attract new people to your sound and to your name and your brand as well.
18 plus the events.
And it's also for new breed, like new guys that come into the scene. Like when we started, there was so many.
To start,
we had so many clubs and we played. So we made 100 fans in Friesland. We made 25 fans in Groningen. We made 100 fans in Gemert. You know, you go to all these different cities, and everywhere you get some fans. But now you be put on a main stage, and you play as one of the beginnings where people are not even in yet, or they just come and walk in, buy some merchandise, buy some drinks, go to their tents,
or not
whatever.
even like people to go to that first slot on the main stage is already really quite difficult. There's not really a path towards that. I think.
I remember a couple of years ago, you guys played in Stadskanaal somewhere in a club.
Oh yeah,
And you made some fans over there.
Yeah.
Because the week after we played there, and they were like, "Yeah, D Block and F."
oh really?
Yeah. So there's still some.
Yeah,
clubs.
there are some.
Yeah, there's
that-
some.
Good.
Yeah,
And it's great that you tell this story about people lowering their fee to play at these clubs. I think we should do that as well in a way of, you never can ask the same amount of money if you play for 20,000 people, if you play for 600 people. So
Yeah.
no, I totally get that.
But it's like, for example, in your scene, because it's so big and so worldwide, there's so many shows every week. For Hardstyle is also a bit different because there's more and more shows, but still, you have to find a balance every week to make your weekend filled out with shows,
Yeah.
And for you guys, like for example, when you go to Asia, you can already do like 7 or 8 shows, and then fill it up. But for us, it's still searching for extra shows to add up. So for a hardstyle artist, it's also a bit more easy to say, for example, okay, it's 1.5 month now from that weekend, and we still have the weekend off. Okay, let's go and go to that club and promote our name,
Yeah.
Great.
and put some money and energy into creating new fans.
Oh yeah.
That's a good idea. So that's kind of like a good answer, I think.
I think if
to the question.
somebody would start a new club, a good club, and would start to promote like new DJs and new kind of music, and I think it would work.
I don't think so. Actually.
Yeah, I don't really envy them.
no.
It's really difficult.
I would not do it myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
so
hope so.
difficult.
Of course, I would go, but like Dutch people also are changing in a way. Like they are really festival lovers. I feel all my friends, if I talk about it, or whatever, my younger nephew, he's only talking about the festivals. He's not really into clubbing, or he doesn't
but
really know what
the
it is.
experience you get for like maybe 2 or 3 times the price of going to a club
That's it,
is
yeah.
is 10 times better.
Yeah.
So
They save up
doesn't
and
add, it doesn't add up,
For $20, you have like one DJ in a club for 1.5 or 2 hours, and the rest are just locals and have a drink. Or for $60,
yeah.
you can have like 10 of your favorite artists.
Yeah.
Or maybe nowadays it's a little bit more.
Yeah.
the price. But anyways, it's
Yeah.
a big difference,
Sure.
So
That's a whole day.
You're like Bill Gates doing shopping. He doesn't know how much a ticket is.
and also our fans
so
are
ignorant.
our fans are quite young. Hardstyle fans are quite young. So it's also even more money for them,
Yeah.
Like, for example-
drinks.
No,
No.
for example, in Asia or in America, the people have more money to spend when they come to a normal house or commercial kind of show. But hardstyle fans really have to pick their moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really expensive. But I think the quality level you get for the prices you pay in hardstyle is
insane.
Yeah,
insane,
it's
yeah.
just pretty
Crazy
good.
you get a really a nice production and a nice day. It's almost a day out.
It is, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's like going to
it's 3 days out sometimes if you're staying at the camping.
Yeah.
there's crazy stuff
3
happening.
days out of your mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, we always love to play in clubs. So yeah, people always ask, do you like playing in clubs more
Yeah.
or on festivals?
Can't
But
choose.
It's so different,
Yeah.
It's
because
a very different experience
Yeah.
as a DJ, and also for people that go to a club or festival.
Yeah, and you can have a really
you can
a
make
close
interaction
connection.
and contact with every single one in front of you.
That's
Like
what I love about a club.
Yeah, we have these flags or we have these wristbands that we just hand out to the people in front of the stage, that are really dedicated at the club. You can't do that at a festival. You can throw one in the crowd,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they're
You
almost
even miss because it's so far away.
and or they're scared that someone else will
Security guy gets
someone else will get it from them, so they put it
Yeah.
in their bag and hide it. So it's
What
not
I do
really-
now is sometimes I put a water bottle in the flag so I can throw it further.
and
if I
then
throw my
someone
smart-
you hit someone.
without water or with
No, but I yeah.
with water.
With water.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but it works
Can you
because I
imagine
can throw
being
way
at the
further.
doctor?
out.
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, I got hit by a flag. By a flag.
Well, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. I got good insurance.
You get
Gonna
sued in
sued.
America.
Don't do it in the
I
US.
don't do it in the US though.
Oh, I remember there was a DJ. I don't know who it was in. I think it was the Joji Biomanica. He threw records in the crowd, like vinyl records back then. But it was the record itself went out and it's really sharp and someone got hit with it. And
No
it was
way.
it was a really
but
big
a bottle
deal.
of water.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
bottle of water
prefer a
is
flag though.
It's better than a brick, you know.
Yeah.
Because throw a brick with a flag, but
Yeah. Oh, well,
I don't know. This might not be the best
not the best
alternative.
solution. I thought it was better. Now I'm wondering, but it worked like several times already. So yeah.
Maybe find like a binder, you know, a rubber binder, and then put it on your flag and then throw it.
It work- it
It's
works
not that
better,
hard
yeah.
as a bottle of water.
Yeah.
Or some fireworks like.
Yeah, I remember we threw some flags into the crowd, and especially when the drop hits, we threw the
CO2,
flag,
yeah.
In the
and
CO2.
the fire went on. The pyro went on. I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it-
having
if
a
it catch
burning
fire, you know?
flag? Oh,
I want to catch it.
oh no!
But that is good when there's a bottle of water in it. Then
So maybe it is a good idea. At the end,
I sometimes throw it into the CO2 cannon, so it kind of like
it takes off.
It takes
Yeah,
off.
it takes
a
off.
little more.
Goes back.
Out of the arena.
That's what we have sometimes as well. You have it as well if the wind is in the wrong way.
it comes back.
They push the confetti and it all
Yeah,
comes on my face.
all your CDJs
And on my face, I'm like, blah, blah. Like Martin Garrix, right? He swallowed a bee now.
Yeah.
Because he was like,
Yeah.
that happened with me with
Yeah.
confetti like a lot. Yeah.
He swallowed a bee. Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought, oh, that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, it was.
actually.
It was. It was like,
Oh my god.
Put your All right.
He's not the luckiest person the last half year.
no.
His ankle.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Sometimes when I jump off a stage, everybody says, "Oh, don't do it." But I always do it. You know?
Yeah, me
It's-
too. I did with the energy.
Yeah, and I said,
You can't
bah.
at the moment. I think.
No. At the moment I can jump. But
He has an ice leg.
yeah. Iceland. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy that it's Monday. We don't have any shows tonight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be on one leg.
We have to catch a plane though somewhere this week.
Yeah.
What was the worst like experience during a show? Like maybe you ate something wrong, or did you ever had that kind of, or a fan run up to you in a weird way?
Yeah, well, I had it once on Decibel when I jumped on stage and this. How do you say it? Like
There was like the stage. They put tape where because they put like a blanket
yeah.
and they put tape on where underneath the blanket was wood, but there was also some parts where there was nothing
No
underneath
wood.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't tell him, so he went on stage and he was like, "Yeah, going crazy."
I jumped on and
He jumped and then he went right through that curtain. Yeah.
And I grabbed myself at the end. So I'm like, oh shit. So I pushed myself up and
It was a big
just on the
Houdini.
drum. Yeah. it was the last song as well. And I was like, oh shit.
The last song and it's gone.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
Goodbye.
Is there like footage of that?
Thank
now?
you.
no.
damn.
There
Great disappearance show.
But it was
Ghost stories.
pretty scary actually because it was like 4 meters below.
Underneath it was
Underneath
yeah.
it. So I was happy that I pushed myself on and all my knees and all my leg was all open, all blood
no
because
way.
it went through.
Oh man.
But I was happy that I catch myself
Yeah.
and the show must go on. So I was like,
And then you grabbed the mic.
hey, like
So
surprise.
you sued them and you made a lot of money.
Yeah, that's why.
Shit, it didn't happen in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in
I
Holland.
should've- yeah.
Then they're like, "Yeah, you should have watched the tape."
Was in Holland because
Yeah,
we have many of these stories, but all happening kind of
Yeah,
Asia or India. We had once like I got electrocuted by my CO2 gun because we played a water festival.
Oh my god!
And all the wiring, we were already entering the stage. Like, this is a little tricky. It was all bamboo.
Yeah.
Like, and from the front, it was pretty nice. So the crowd was like, "Oh, this is a cool stage." But from the back, we could see it. It was like all bamboo, and also all the wires were like just all
Connected like this.
wow.
connected like that. And there was like a water festival. So
oh my
all water
God.
coming through, and then we got like electrocuted first by the CO2 gun, and then like by the mixer.
No.
Yeah, really. And then music stopped. Everything shut off, and then it went on again. So it was like,
It was like
yeah. I was
Wow.
like, and then everything stopped. And we had it like in Germany as well. Like the confetti was blowing, and then everything stopped because it was, I think, it's such a high pulse.
Oh, yeah.
And then boom,
every time they pop the confetti, the music stops. It was-
stopped. Yeah, like,
But the thing what happened,
that's
like
even
it
worse,
would
then it's like
stop before the drop, and then it went like
so the music stops, and it's like,
But the confetti comes.
but then one, two, three, poof. Like, no, this is the worst. Like, this is the worst.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
I remember also we played at Impact 2 weeks ago, and we made the anthem for the festival. They say, yeah, when are you gonna play it? Because we have like a really big confetti shot at the drop, and we're like, yeah, can you stand in front and for the picture? And we're like, all right. So the drop came, and we're like, yeah. Like, all right, no confetti. All right, yeah. Well, we went back to the mixer, and they said, yeah, we're gonna do it on the next drop. Like, okay, next drop. All right, let's see what happens. And it drops like boom, boom, bam. I'm like, well, that timing guy needs some lessons, but he just pushed it and like, oh, doesn't work. And boom. So it was also the
Same thing.
But it's way more fun. It's way funnier when the music starts.
Yeah.
And poof, yeah, that happens. Like, damn.
Oh,
Or you
wow.
ate, do you never had like like in Indonesia? We love Indonesian food, but it's quite heavy on the stomach.
Oh, yeah, I had it once. I had to go to the bathroom so bad, but I just kept on playing, and after I said, I'm like, I'm going. You know,
You had to go out 3 times.
Really? I don't know. But yeah, we were like, I'm just going out. I cannot.
Yeah.
I have to satay.
No, I think we were quite satay. A little bit of peanut sauce.
Yeah. A lot of own
spicy peanut sauce.
Personal peanut sauce.
Oh, these kind of like, wow, that's
Peanut soup.
Actually, Chesto told the story that he shit himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard.
He has such a boss. He just shameless. Yeah, I once shit myself on stage. I'm like, what? Such a boss.
Yeah, he's boss. I think. Yes, I can totally imagine. Like we're jumping all the time, and you're just at dinner.
Can you imagine this? Because it never happened to us, but we heard this story from a DJ in Australia. His name is DJ Sway.
Yeah.
He's a hardstyle DJ as well, and he has together with a couple of guys, he has his own club, Massive. It's in Sydney, and he was once at a festival. I think it was a big festival in Sydney.
In Canada.
Oh, it wasn't.
Or no?
No, it was not in Canada. No, it was
I think in Canada.
It was a big festival in Sydney where he was backstage and Chesto was there. And Chesto had to play still and he was wearing a white t-shirt. And he was kind of drunk and he was drinking wet wine. And then he said to Chesto, like, yeah, can we make a photo? Can we make a photo? And he put his arm around him and threw a full glass of red wine over his shirt. But can you imagine doing that to Chesto, you know? And he was like...
And he was like, okay, thank
Really?
you.
And luckily enough, he had an extra shirt, but I never bring an extra shirt to the show.
either.
So can you imagine that happening?
Yeah, Steve Aoki will be fine. Like,
Yeah, plain shirtless.
Take shirts
Yeah.
off.
No, but
but
just you don't want to see that. Maybe. I don't know.
Can you imagine just for instance, randomly playing without a shirt? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on over
that's
here?
how new
And
look,
also
guys.
feels really naked. You're like,
Yeah, like, ooh. Getting cold. Like,
that would be something, you know, that like 10 minutes before your show and
Just
you're
so
wearing a
naked,
white
yeah.
shirt
damn.
and someone throws a full glass of red wine over your
That's
shirt.
why we never wear white.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's what we
But
prefer.
even on a black shirt, it would look a bit
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
True.
But you can just say it's new design, new
Yeah.
Sick Individuals design.
Wet design.
Coming soon.
yeah.
red wine.
soon.
design.
Red wine design.
But these kind of like that's always like where people DJs talk about a little bit on tour. Like, what kind of weird stuff did you
Yeah.
come across? Or we had once like a fan running up to the stage and then grabbing us by the balls.
No.
Yeah. I love you guys. I'm like, yeah,
I'm not loving you
No,
anymore.
no. Oh, that was like these kind of stuff. Like, yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we had it
yeah.
a couple of weeks ago as well. Like a fan, she run across the fence, and we're like, "Oh my god!" We
She really
saw,
wanted to take a photo.
yeah, but we were in a hurry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
And then she came for the photo, and security was running after her. And she was like, "Oh yeah, really, take a photo." And we're like, "Yeah, okay, let's take a photo." And we said to the security guy, "Okay, yeah, it's okay, you know,
Yeah.
bring her back after." But we also told her like, maybe you shouldn't do this, you know, because next time at a festival they maybe throw you out.
yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
or they
then-
give you like a
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's also cool to see the dedication. But
no for sure.
yeah,
No,
sometimes
it's
you
not
have to-
cool.
No, it's cool.
that's not.
But she didn't grab us by the balls. So.
No,
That's a shame.
Yeah, so
Next time,
remember guys,
grab him by the ball.
don't grab. You can have
On
a
the next
photograph.
festival, please.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this one up. Thank you guys for being part of Made Addictz.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, cool to have you guys.
Yeah.
Let's have dinner soon.
yeah.
Yeah, like in
Just,
2
like
hours.
in
All right.
And, we'll talk some more, but first we're gonna shut down the show. Next week we're going to China.
Yeah.
So if you're watching from China, see you there. We have a couple of shows going on there, and then October is gonna be really busy. Also ADE. So yeah, I hope to see you guys a lot over there or in the next coming 2 months.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And hang out more.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, next month we have another show. We're gonna prepare a bit for Climax and talk about ADE, how that went and everything. So see you on the next episode of Music Made Addicts.
Thank you.
Make sure to check out these guys because they're doing an awesome job.
Sick Individuals on every social.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Bye.
Music Made